Welcome to another My Blue Bricks Real Estate podcast. The first episode of this 2-second episode was a crash course into cryptocurrency. We now know the basics, we know what Bitcoin is, what Ethereum is. Today we're doing the second episode and we're doing a crash course into how to apply it actually, so the cryptocurrency, how to begin investing, where to look for, how to do your risk analysis, which cryptocurrency is actually best for you, what your strategy is that short term, long term, and in the end, relevant for me and a lot of listeners to this podcast, we're going to relate it or connect it to real estate, because cryptocurrency is also becoming a bigger term into the real estate space. For example, there are ETFs and NFTs being created that are used for funds that you can invest in, and then they're investing in real estate. And why? Because you can trade that more, you can sell it or buy it more easily. Or there's the Metaverse. Well, we're also talking about that. That's towards the end of the show, because we first need to know the basics, the deep diving session, and then apply it to real estate. So a lot of information. This is again a very good episode. Make sure to maybe also listen a couple of times to these 2 episodes, okay? That's for me as well. I'm not the expert in cryptocurrency, but one thing is for sure is that we cannot do without in the future of cryptocurrency. Yes or yes, this is going to play a big role in towards our society, in your environment, in whichever industry you're working or you're active, and for sure also in real estate. So I want to get to know everything there is. Be not the expert, but have the information and the knowledge to apply it in then for whatever we're doing. So make sure to sit tight, relax, and we're now going to the amazing show again. Let's go. Okay, welcome everyone to another podcast, Real Estate, My Blue Bricks. So this time, a little bit less real estate. We're going to do the deep dive in the cryptocurrency topic that we touched upon last week. I'm together again with Hvordan and Sergey, the faces that you now know from some episodes already. Good that you're here, guys. Everything fine?
All good. A little tired, but ready to go.
What you're not seeing, but what we did see, is that Adnan is not woken up for such a long time yet. But he said he can even talk about cryptocurrency in his dreams. So we're going to test him if he's ready.
Let's go.
Okay, last week we talked a little about cryptocurrency, what it is, Bitcoin, Ethereum, a crash course so that people can get up to speed. This week is meant to do more a deep dive in how to apply perhaps the investing part in cryptocurrency, what are the risks involved, and in the end, of course, I'm more in the real estate part, and maybe you can also talk from your side, Sergey, if you have specific questions. I want to link a little bit to real estate, because cryptocurrency is finding its way to real estate as well. Where to start? What do you say, Adnan? Where to start today?
I think what is a natural continuation from the last podcast we had about crypto is how to actually get started, right? We talked a little bit more about the high level stuff, what really crypto is, what Ethereum is, Bitcoin. So I think we can, a lot of questions I get at least on our platform from Crypto School, first time I'm approaching someone is like, how do I actually start this whole journey? Because what I find as well is that if you've traded stocks or something like this before, then it's a little bit more easier to get in, like you'll know what an exchange is, you'll know how it kind of works, like on a simple level, let's say. But also there's a lot of new beginners who are doing crypto for the first times and hasn't done stocks, right?
Yeah.
So, and I don't know how that is with your viewers, but let's just start from very basic, really how to start off. And the way to start off is to find a place to actually trade crypto. So this is my really first point I really want to talk to you guys about, because it's not choosing an exchange. It's not the same as choosing your stock exchange, for example. In crypto is very different, and that's because each crypto exchange, they are modeled a little bit differently in terms of how they earn money, right? So in general, what I would say is that to find the biggest 4 or 5 exchanges. Now, why I say that before even choosing one is because there's a lot of exchanges out there which doesn't have all the security requirements. They don't have let's say they are secure and they haven't been hacked, but they don't have experience, right? Because all of these exchanges, they have actually been alive for only 2-3 years. Think about it a little bit. Like in the banking system, the banks, they invest millions and millions of euros in security, right? But banks exist for such a long time. Think about it, exchanges, they exist just for a few years,
Yeah.
So we're still on that path. So first of all, choose 5 big one, and how you can do that without me listing all of them is to go to a page called CoinMarketCap, for example. There's like statistics and everything, and then you can always list the exchanges in terms of volume.
Could you repeat that one? What is the name of that?
CoinMarketCap.
Okay.
It's a web page which there's data. I use it once a day. Literally, when I wake up, I put CoinMarketCap on because it gives me a really quick overview of what has been happening in the market. It has some nice data there. So do check that out. Now, why is it important to look at different exchanges? Well, it depends what you're going to be trading, right? So one exchange might have this and this crypto, another exchange might not have that. And then you'll figure out another thing. You'll figure out, hey, I actually want to buy this specific crypto and I want to buy it with US dollar, but actually I cannot buy it with US dollar. I have to convert my US dollars. So probably most people here are converting it anyways to euros, but converting that to another crypto. Let's say I need to buy Ethereum. Now I bought Ethereum, but I can only buy, I was looking at crypto. This is not a financial advice, but it's called Vulcan Forge. It's a gaming crypto. You cannot buy that with USD. So I needed to change my USD to Ethereum and then buy with Ethereum.
That's already from the Ethereum platform then. That they're adjusting to that platform to buy from Ethereum to okay.
A little bit, yeah.
For me.
Okay. Yeah. So this is basically when that happens, usually that gaming, this Vulcan Forge, it's usually on the Ethereum platform, right? And this is something called ERC20. I don't want to go into too much depth, but basically it's a compatibility, right, thing that all coins, all of these type of coins who are on Ethereum, like we said, Ethereum is like an operating system. They're known as ERC20 tokens, meaning that they're all compatible. But going back to the exchanges, right? So that's the first thing, right? Different exchanges, you have to think about that. Different exchanges has different type of coin offering. Of course, if you go on Binance, which is one of the biggest ones, they have most of them, right? Which I've kind of figured out because they're expanding all the time. So that's number one thing. Second thing, it's in terms of costs. That's one of the first things we look at, what it'll cost. So some exchanges, they'll tell you like, hey, we don't have any commission, it's all free, right? But then they will hide it in the exchange rate. Some exchanges, they don't have any fee to set things up, but once you're going to take out money, they might have a small fee, right? So as starting off, do your little bit of research on this thing. How are they structured? How are they actually earning money from you on the exchanges? Can I ask you guys what exchanges did you guys use when you guys started or when you traded for the first time?
I went with, but back then I didn't know that much about cryptos, right? So and it was like, I remember back then there was a lot of ads about it, but it was eToro, probably not the best one, but one of the, as I said, also like in terms of user friendliness and app, it was really nice. It was very easy. So
and you used eToro also to do the
stocks.
Also that, but also that functionality that they have that you could look at what the other professional people were doing, right? So you could
copy trading,
right? That was the thing with
exactly. That was also good. I didn't do that personally because then you're involved in a really like I really went a little bit into it, you know. So I still have it actually, but yeah.
So interesting. So eToro, I would say eToro. So I haven't used eToro personally, but I've done my analysis on the eToro. I played around with it. I set up accounts and stuff. So eToro I think it's a great way to start off, like for someone, because they have everything at one place. It feels, I mean, one of the things eToro is trying to do, and they're doing it well, I guess, is to create the biggest like investor community, like they're trying to do that. Exactly. And that's why they have things like copy trading, which is kind of unique, but I wouldn't be doing copy trading for using that for crypto at all. At this moment, no.
I have the impression they kind of they try to gamify the trading.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like make it like a competition and see the rankings, and then today I'm second one. Like I lost five places, whatever in that ranking or whatever it is. So they try to like make it as a game. But I guess this is for people that are not, professional traders.
Yeah. And honestly, like anyways, one thing you have to realize that all of these exchanges that you will see, they better be user friendly, right? Because no one is a professional crypto trader, right? Yeah. I can always say about me that, okay, I've been trading and been buying stocks and doing different investments for over 15 years, but I haven't been trading crypto. So there's not a lot of professional crypto traders, right? We'll talk a little bit more about it later. But yeah, going back to that, right? So you said eToro. eToro is a nice place to start off with. Why I say to choose the exchange, what happened to me in the beginning, I chose one exchange. Then I realized this exchange only has X amount of crypto. Then I went to another exchange. So what I realized that I kind of starting to have a few different exchanges that I'm using, right? One thing I'm using it is to actually use it, but another reason I'm using it is to rate it, to give it a little bit feedback, what I feel, because it's what I give advice on. So basically with exchange, know the costs, know what kind of availability of crypto that they have. What's also nice when you start off is that many of these exchanges, they have some kind of bonus, some kind of thing to get you started, which is always nice to start off with as a new beginner. Okay, so now let's say we have chosen an exchange now, right? Next thing is next question would be, okay, what should I buy, right? What should I buy? And that comes into analysis. So to get this conversation, I want to ask you guys, like, what you guys are investing in crypto. I don't know if you have invested in one or two crypto, and I think we talked a little bit about it. But what you guys, I think we talked a little bit about Ethereum, no? I think you guys, and I can say as well, I'm sitting on Ethereum. What made you choose to buy Ethereum? Like, why? What was interesting about Ethereum?
Should I go? Yeah. So, first of all, just very simple, is that the second biggest. And then also, of course, what you were saying the last time is that it is interesting to know that there will be a lot of functionalities at one point that you can do with the Ethereum coin. More than broadly knowing that could be or that is already taking place, I have no idea. What I did more Bitcoin, Ethereum, then I had some smaller ones. I had Neo at one point that went well and then went completely down. Can
I ask you, Erwin, how did you said said now, right? You chose Ethereum because of the size and things like that. What sources did you read? Like, was that news, more like business news type of thing? Was it a specific book? Was it a recommendation? Like, how did you get to that decision?
Yeah, it was some podcast. I was listening to it, and then they were talking about Neo. To be really honest, is that it's more following what is being said than really doing a deep analysis. And that is with stocks. Then, for example, if you're doing it at a company, then yes, you do a more elaborate analysis of why you're investing in that company. With the cryptocurrency, it's just my knowledge doesn't reach to really the understanding why. It's just them following some advices, to be honest. I don't know how it is for you, sir, but
yeah, actually very similar. But you know what, for example, I as you said, I went to read the news a little bit, what people say. I remember I went on the website of Ethereum and I simply read what are the what is their strategy, like what is their vision.
Amazing.
And I discovered some of the things that I didn't know. For example, the smart contract and for artists, and I didn't know that Ethereum could be a platform for all of these things, And I said, well, actually, Bitcoin is a currency that it's just a trade. It's a currency, right? That you would be able to purchase things or exchange things with. But Ethereum I saw as much more than that, as a platform that has a lot of potential. So many things could arise from Ethereum. And this is where I was ready to make my risks, my bets on Ethereum, saying, hey, I'll put a little bit on it because there's so many things that could arise from that platform, that so many nice things that could come from it.
To be honest, just to summarize there, there's just so much information. There's just so little knowledge. And I don't understand shit literally then when even when I'm reading the description of a coin or cryptocurrency on the platform, then they're doing this and that is then stake and proof.
It's confusing.
I have no
idea. It's so much buzzwords, there's so much like jargon. I know it's super confusing, but what I always say, the number one thing you should be doing, whichever crypto you're looking at or whatever, is to, something similarly that you did, Sergey, is to go to their website and download their white paper, okay? So white paper is the project's paper, right? So that's the number one thing you should do. Like, I was checking out a white paper 2 days ago or something of a crypto called Polkadot, which is one of the really bigger ones.
Oh yeah.
And that white paper was like a 21 or 22 pager. I always say that if you're going to invest more than €1,000 in something, you better have a little better understanding than the average person. The first thing you can do is to go to the web page of the crypto project, go to their white paper. Like you said, in the white paper, you're going to find who are the owners, the vision of the developers, what are some of the milestones. You will find, again, strategies, marketing strategies, everything you'll find, right? Because the thing is that what I have experience with now is that a lot of people are coming to me, they're starting to read this white paper, right? But they don't really understand, they're not really understanding everything that's going on. And I say, read it once, and a lot of things you will not understand immediately, which is fine, but you know this word, for example, I don't know, it could be parachains for Polkadot. Like, someone not understand what is parachain is, but that word will come up. If you're following this crypto, it will come up and you'll start learning by little. So give yourself a good fundamental to invest time. You gotta, in everything in life, the better you understand something, the less risky it is, right? And crypto is viewed so risky. Do the basics, because like I see, and I asked you guys a little bit, right? You did it because of podcasts or social media, but take responsibility for anyone out there for your own education within it, right? So that's like the first thing. So that means like, okay, so that doesn't mean that you're going to be reading hundreds of crypto projects, right? Of this white paper. This also doesn't make sense. So in crypto, you have to think about what kind of investor you want to be, first of all. When you're starting off, the normal thing is to have a long-term strategy, right? So you're there, you have a strong belief in the technology, you're there long-term, right? In terms of that, we're using typically more fundamental analysis. So that's more going deep into this white paper, which I just talked about. But we don't really care about all the noise in the market, right? Because we're long term, there's going to be a lot of noise, the merge is coming up, this is coming, but actually if you're really long term, you in a way are wasting your time by listening to noise if it doesn't benefit you, right? In terms of this specific goal. So that should be approach. That is like one approach. And what is long term? You can do a one-time purchase, right? You do a lump sum and you pay, or you can do something called a dollar cost averaging strategy. I'll talk a little bit more about it later, right? So that's like two long-term ways. Then you have a little bit mid-term, which we call kind of like a swing trading. So you're following the swings in the market. So you're following both the fundamentals, so what's happening, news, events, but also you're following the technical indicators. So here you're using technical analysis, and then you have more specific, like more high frequent trading, like day trading. But let's go back to what is the most normal. What we see is which is the a DCA strategy or buying one-time thing, one lump sum. We talked a little bit about this last time, I think, the benefits and the disadvantages of it. But I always say that if you're a long-term thing, why not minimize your risk as much as you can, rather than just buying one-time thing, right? Again, if you bought now and you bought, I think, into 2017, like end of 2017, you would have pretty much the same price on Bitcoin, right? So it's important to do little by little, right? But then again, okay, what kind of analysis do I use? So obviously you're not going to use technical analysis. What we see is super important, which is different from the stock market and the crypto market, is social media, the role of social media in this. And why is that? We talked about it again a little bit last time. It's because internet exists, right? People communicate, people are talking, etc., right? So this is what we call sentiment analysis, right? So actually looking at what people are saying, what is the vibe in the market among people who are basically talking investors. So that's another thing that we look at. And obviously I don't do specific analysis individually on this. There's some really cool web pages you can use, free ones, to look at this, but it's super interesting, right? You want to get a little bit the vibe of the market or specific crypto. So with this sentimental analysis, you're using that in combination with fundamentals. So like I said, you're going to look at the white paper, and then the second thing, inside the white paper, you will have the owner's vision, etc. But one thing is super key here is something we call tokenomics. And this is basically understanding the economics of the token, okay? This is super important. This is inside the white paper. So I'm going to explain this as simply as possible, hopefully. But unlike in stocks, right? How the developers or the CEOs of these crypto projects, how they give out coins out to the market can differ, okay? So as we know about Bitcoin has a max amount of coins of 21 million. And right now they're circulating like 19 million something. And they have a system how to release those coins, right? What is the advantage of that? You are again, it's the inflation question, right? This is Bitcoin is going to become pretty much very valuable in terms of when it becomes more and more scarce. Now you have other coins which has also has an unlimited supply, right? That can be other coins as well. But what's really important when you're looking at a market value of a crypto, you always will be looking at what we call a circulating supply. Again, I talked about this webpage called Coin Market Cap. You can go in there and you can see all of these numbers on a specific coin. So we have the circulating supply. This is basically the supply which is available in the market, which is out there right now. So if you times that with the current price of crypto, then you have the true market value, right? What's circulating. Now, why is a company or a project, why are they holding up some crypto? It might be different things, but those answers you will figure out in the white paper, why they have a certain distribution. So understanding distribution is important when doing your analysis. Why? Because if you know that everything is out there already, okay, the scarcity is already coming in, or maybe you'll figure out that this specific crypto, their supply will come out in the next 50 years. Okay, am I going to make an investment decision based upon that? Am I going to be in this 50 years? I mean, that's an impossible question to ask, right? But these are things that you need to be aware of, because the economy of the token, how it's distributed, because as we know in the market, it's all about demand and supply. This is how it works. How the supply is distributed is strategically a key on how to understand what is going on in the crypto, right? So white paper and really looking at the tokenomics of things.
Hey, what can change that? For example, what if they are putting out some batches from time to time? What is that then influencing a lot the price? I think most likely then.
Yeah, so we can talk about Bitcoin. So they have something every 4 year called the Bitcoin halving. Halving. But they have the amount of these so-called, like you mentioned, these validators, right? Who are validating the transaction. The money they're getting is being halved, basically. And what happens is that the Bitcoin is getting released little by little. Like I said, 19 million is, I think it's like 19.2, something like this, which is out now. That the remaining 2 million, it will happen over a period of almost 100 years. So it's not like it's going to be happening tomorrow. But what effect does that have? What does that effect have? It makes for Bitcoin, it makes it scarce, basically. Yeah.
But speaking about this strategy of investing, I don't know you about there, but I didn't really plan. I didn't really know what was my strategy exactly was. When I bought some Bitcoins, and of course, in this kind of technology, because what we discussed before, it's a very early stage. Investing in a long term makes sense, right? But I have the impression, like most of the people, everyday people, that understand a little bit and they're like kind of followers, or maybe they did some of the research themselves, but they invest mid-term or short-term. Right? They see this you mentioned social media, like Elon Musk tweeting about a certain coin, then they didn't jump on it. They think it's gonna boom, and because they all want to make millions in few months, right?
Yeah.
What is your view on that, and what's
maybe before you going in there, Adnan, is that maybe also because the coins are so volatile, right? Because somebody say something, the value is just jumping up like crazy. Of course, in a company, we all know HP. We have been working there. In a company, some messages can be, and they did that something, right? So supercomputer they were talking about. So the super influencing the stock, but it is not just such a volatile, quick, instant message that it can just jump up the stock from, I don't know, what was it, 20 to 30, and with these currencies, cryptocurrency, it can happen. So you also don't want to lose a lot of money, and of course you want to win a lot of money, and it looks like it was kind of possible, and it's still kind of like that. So it's also inviting you a lot to be looking more at the short term than rather long term. I don't know, at least how I'm feeling. I don't know.
No, absolutely. And I'll share a little bit what I'm doing at the moment, just for you to have a clear picture. Just a side note, what the fuck happened to the supercomputer in HP? Because that I didn't hear for years.
I think it's still in production, man.
It's in production. Okay. Cool. A supercomputer. Anyways, so absolutely, I am talking to you guys now a little bit more. What I would do, I wouldn't try to do short term, and you can try to go, because there's so much volatility. So for us, like what I'm really doing is that I'm probably investing at all times. I'm sitting 80% of my crypto invested capital in long-term project, 80%. 20% of that time I'm in short-term projects, and literally I'm talking about on a weekly basis and stuff like that. I'm not doing day trading or anything, but I'll stay, like I said, the second type of investor, a little bit swing trading, checking what's market happening. Absolutely. You can make good money there because of the volatility, right? But that also means that you better have a good understanding of the basics, because when we talk about volatility, we're talking about coins which are much lower on the list in terms of market cap, right? Just smaller coins. It's like I had a question the other day. So what needs to be done for Bitcoin to go above 100,000 if market is good, right? It's not a small little news. Like if you have, let's say there comes out a news about, I don't know, something within gaming, a small company gaming project will boost, right? But Bitcoin is a big dog now, right? It's a big project now. You're not going to be able to have small news affecting it like directly, like boom, So what you need is some sort of sign of mass adoption. So what could it be if, for example, let's say in China, they allow Bitcoin again, right? For example, let's say, wow, imagine the population of China is now trading Bitcoins. this would be a huge boost for Bitcoin, right? Like a big player. But so you see the levels of volatility are different depending, because you look at the list, man. You see the market caps of the top 10, but after that it just starts shrinking a lot, and that's why it's super volatile. But absolutely, like, taking advantage of these beautiful waves which are coming, I think it's something that I do, and I enjoy it myself. You know, I really enjoy it. But that also means that you need another level of understanding, yes, but also that you understand what is really going on, right? Yeah.
I actually did. I earned some money on Bitcoin, actually, volatility, because up to a year ago, 2 years ago, it was very volatile also. Like, I mean, when I'm thinking volatility, is like it was 10% a day, which is a lot, you know.
Yeah.
Which is a lot. You can make a lot of. Hey, I just have a question about actually one step back. You spoke about the platforms, and you know, because I know how the conventional stock trading platform work. But you know, you, I, and other people that put some money in those crypto platforms, I don't know if you know that, but do you know how it exactly works? What is a platform, a trading crypto platform, is doing with the crypto? You know, how are they securing it? How are they trading it? What is exactly happening there? Because it's not the money. It's not like stocks, right? Is it computers running behind data centers that they have? Is it what?
Yeah, good question, man. I think this is a super important question, and I always say this. I always say the best thing you can do after you bought your crypto is to secure your crypto, right? And it goes to security. Your question, amazing question, man. So how crypto works is that crypto is living on the blockchain, okay? Now, when I'm buying something from let's just say eToro, okay? eToro. I'm buying crypto from eToro. So now I don't really know how eToro works, but it should work as the other exchanges. When I'm buying, let's say I'm buying some Bitcoin through them, it means that I'm buying some Bitcoin, but it is stored on their, what we call a wallet. Let's call it electronic wallet.
Okay, yeah.
Just to make things simple. Although it's not actually a wallet. But let's say that these exchanges, they have a wallet. So their crypto, it's on their wallet, and eToro themselves, they say, hey, this is Adnan's crypto, right? So this is how it works. The problem with that, it's one thing is asking about, okay, so how are they storing it? It's actually, they're just having it in a wallet, right? So basically each wallet has what we call a key, a private key, okay? Now, if you just are buying the Bitcoin, you're putting them on eToro, okay, fine, and that's it. Actually, those keys, those crypto, it's not yours. Legally, they're not yours, because crypto has no name attached to it. The only thing with crypto you can say it's mine is because you have a wallet number, or hey, this belongs to me. It's not attached name or any other data, right? So basically you're saying to these crypto guys, hey, you know what? You're actually just storing my crypto for me, and it's your responsibility. But the number one threat to the crypto is attacks, and what we talk about, exchanges getting hacked, right? And you know, it's like, it's even the biggest ones, they've been getting hacked, right? So this is what I'm saying, it's a huge problem. Therefore, we have a saying in crypto, not your keys, not your coins. Basically, you don't own the key to even though it's on your platform, it's your name when you log in, but it's not really yours. So the number one tips I always have is to buy your own wallet, and then once you've purchased your crypto, transfer it to your wallet. The exchange will obviously take a little fee, because you're removing value from their platform to another platform or whatever. But this is the best thing you can do, because it's ridiculous how much hacking and things are happening. Like, but it's also, really ridiculous.
Also, reality is that very few have wallets, no? Like very few small investors. I mean, if you have €1,000, didn't really think about creating a wallet and all these things, man.
No, but
because we also associated with the standard trading, because when you buy a stock, it's yours, right?
Yeah, exactly. So legally it's yours. Yeah.
We think it's in probably the same way, right? We purchase a crypto, it's ours, but actually, it's more complicated than that.
Exactly. So it's always the crypto. It belongs whoever has access to that address. I always say it like this, if I can put it a little bit metaphorically. So think about like blockchain. You think about it's like a wall with safes. You have in the bank in the old days, you would like put something valuable. Yeah. So you have safes, and actually everyone can see those safes, but everyone doesn't have access to it. The only way you can have access to the safe is through a key, right? And this is what I'm saying. By buying your own wallet, you now have control to that key. The exchange doesn't have. No one else. You are the one controller. Advantage, disadvantage. So I'll tell you. So a lot of people won't think like, 1,000 euros and I will just forget about it. But especially if that 1,000 euros became 500 euros, right? If they lost money on it. But on the other side, if that 1,000 euros became now 20,000 euros, I'm sure you're going to get they'll get their ass moving to secure them, right? It's a different mentality. So follow what's going on like in the things, but storing of your crypto, it's the number one thing, because it's such a huge problem. This is what's happening. There's so much scams out there. So I want to touch upon a few different type of scams.
Before going there, so how can it get more into value? Because if you then take it out of the platform and store it more in your own private wallet, it is then still invested and it can grow, right? Or it cannot grow anymore when you.
Yeah. So think about it. Let's hypothetically say I move one Bitcoin, which I bought, one Bitcoin. Let's say it's worth 60,000. Right, I moved it from the exchange to my wallet. Right now, this I still owe one Bitcoin. Right, it can fall 50% and be half of that price. That it will be half. The market price of it can go double. I still have one Bitcoin. So it's the market price. It's not like it has a value growth inside, but it's the market deciding how much this one Bitcoin that I own, how much that is worth, right?
Okay, so either on a big platform or on your own wallet, doesn't matter. It can grow, it can go less. Okay, it's just more secure. Okay,
it's more secure.
You're now going to explain some things that I think has been happening, but are you going to explain also on how you can protect yourself then as a smaller investor, or how to get that wallet?
Yeah. So that's a good question. I always say that it depends, of course. It's a little bit like the exchanges. Not all wallets covers all crypto, right? So if you, for example, have Bitcoin, they have to make sure that a specific wallet, it's Bitcoin compatible, right? Because if you're sending some Bitcoins to let's say Ethereum, only Ethereum compatible, it's not going to happen, right? And nothing really happens.
So you don't have one wallet, private wallet, that you can send just all your cryptocurrency to?
Yeah, so this is my suggestion. So there's two crypto wallets out there. One is called Trezor. Trezor is really good for like Ethereum and a little bit the bigger cryptos. So that one is really good. That one, I think it's cost retail price if you order it, it's around like $60 for the basic model.
But is it a physical thing then?
Yeah. It's like I mean, I have wallets in the other room. I'm not going to bring them, but it's a physical device. Exactly.
Okay.
It's a physical device. So that one is good for that. And then another one where I like to use is Ledger. Now Ledger has, you can put different types of crypto, like different types. So as a private person, just for your job to check out what kind of wallet covers which type of crypto, but check out Ledger and Trezor first, because they typically cover most of the big ones.
But that raises another like tons of questions, like how is the wallet secured? Like on which platform or which technology is running a wallet?
Yeah. So that we can go super deep on. I don't want to go too deep, and I also don't know too technical about the technical parts. But one thing, what I would, if someone has those similar questions, like check out. First of all, read about them, but check out like what is their history with with getting hacked and things like that, you know. Check out the history behind it, but like the technical part, like I won't be able to. I'm not that techy.
It's too technical.
And by the way, your crypto school is in Norwegian at the moment.
It's in Norwegian.
Was a clear decision from you to focus on the Norwegian market. Any people that are listening to this and would like to get your advice, could they also get some information or some packed things that you're doing content in English?
I think at the moment, no. It is really for the Norwegian market at the moment. The reason being is that it's just an amazing market to be in from a personal point of view.
And you're Norwegian.
I'm Norwegian, culturally, all of these things. But if there are some people who are interested, you know, what I would do is I would like, if they're interested and they reach out or something, tell them to shoot me a message on Instagram or something like this. And if I see in the future there's something bigger, then maybe I will offer something. You know? But at the moment, no, for the Norwegian market.
And your Instagram, that is
Kryptoskolen. So it's Krypto School in Norwegian, basically. Krypto with a K was school. It's called the Krypto
I'll
School.
put it in the show notes so people can.
Cool. Yeah. So the next point I want to talk a little bit about security and stuff. It's about scams and stuff. So how can you protect yourself? This is like so important. How can you protect yourself in this wild market where there are criminals, there are people who's trying to screw you over
every day? Yeah,
it happens, and especially because our knowledge within the crypto space, it's just limited because of the time we've been in here, right? So there's so many things that they can be attacking, right? So there's many different types of scams. First thing, always, like it sounds super basic, but I'm gonna go there. If you are part of an exchange, like if you get an email from an exchange asking for more information from you, personal information, there should be a red flag coming up on your mind, right? Your exchanges will never do that. So what a lot of scammers do, right? This is like email scam, like typical email scam, but you have to be aware of it. It's like, you know, they will send you, let's say they're trying to cover up for Binance. So they will send you an email from, I don't know, Binance.com, email list or something like that, and say, hey, we're asking for this information. You give them your address to some kind of to your private keys or any other type of thing, they can use and abuse it. Okay, they're just like, you start googling that, they're just enough stories. So I won't talk about that now. Here, another thing is, you know, like it's interesting. I'm getting retargeted this ad about crypto, where there's a guy who is showing as Elon Musk. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's a super scam. He's showing up as Elon Musk, and he's talking about, I created SpaceX, the boring company, blah, blah, blah. But now I'm doing my next big thing, which is called, what do they call it? Quantum trading or something like that. And basically it's a face of Elon Musk, because now you have the technology that you can do the voice and the face.
Yeah, the deep fake.
Exactly. And they're doing that. I was in shock when I saw this. So I pressed it because I'm curious, what the fuck? And then you go there and you just see that there is no about us. It's just a complete scam. But it can take 2 seconds that you get a really hot offer or whatever, and it takes 2 seconds to get screwed. And there's enough stories about these things. So there was one thing about Elon Musk. One big thing which happened was, someone had created a Twitter account. It just looks like Elon Musk. You know, maybe they call Elon Musk the original or something. And they posted out a tweet saying that, hey, the first 10 people who are sending their address, their wallet address to us, will get X amount of, I don't know, it was Bitcoin or Ethereum in your wallet. So people started jumping that. They see, first of all, they believe it's Elon Musk saying it. You know, one check of trusting. Second of all, he's putting the time pressure, right? Like, this is like classical sales. They put the time pressure, only 10 people, boom, and then people went on. They gave the fucking wallet address, and they're like waiting for the crypto to come. You know,
still waiting,
and then they suddenly see that whatever they had in their wallet from before, they gave the wallet address, and no, sorry, not the address. They gave the private key. So again, they gave away the key to someone, and they got completely screwed. So it's like this. Just be like aware of the small, which we kind of say basic, but it's not always so basic, right? It can happen, and especially, I can imagine that my parents, who are in a different generation, could totally get screwed by something like this.
I was going to mention this. Did you know about this technology, Erwin, deepfake?
Yeah.
So this is crazy, like it's the person talks, says something, presidents and stuff like this, and you don't know if it's true or not. So, but also, I was going to, obviously, like this is the fraud today everywhere. It's like a big elephant in the room that nobody speaks about, actually, people will say, well, crypto is so complicated. It's these wallets and stuff. Nobody knows actually how it works. I will keep my money in my bank account. But there's so many scams going on banks, on people. Private people receiving messages. We all receive those messages, right? From Amazon. Your package is arriving. Click on this link. I don't have any package arriving. Like, what are you talking about? Like a weird number sending me from like somewhere else. And people lose literally thousands of euros in hacks, in fraud from their bank account, and the banks are not able simply to protect people, right? Because these amounts are so small, it's not worth for them to go after a few thousand euros, which for you maybe it's a lot. So people have this misconception that all banks is super secure. It's actually not that secure, The scammers are getting more and more sophisticated, and especially for older generations, it must be hell now, it looks like I don't know, ING website, ING bank website. It's not an ING website, it's ing.com, but behind it's just a fake page. Behind it is completely different links. And you input your information there, and then and it's on trace, like it's really a big thing, So it's not more secure, I would say, in your bank account, even though maybe, but not that much more secure,
One thing to add there maybe is that we are having some shared email addresses within the company, and then because it happens sometimes to company as well, and then I'm sharing some email addresses with other people, and then we need to rely that everyone is taking the same care and not clicking on the same emails that we're all getting. And then one mistake or one just small thing, these are happening. Okay, nice. Adnan, thanks for everything. Let's get it. Let's get it back and apply it a little bit to real estate. Okay.
Let's do it.
Cryptocurrency. People are thinking to apply it in some way that you can pay or purchase cryptocurrency, the real estate at one point with cryptocurrency. Some other people are now starting some real estate with NFTs. NFTs then are I'm not an expert in that, but NFTs are it's more images, right? Images or things that represent
ownership, I would say.
Images. Right?
It doesn't have to be images, but images is one part. Yeah.
Okay.
So what you're saying, like NFTs for non-fungible token, right? That's what it stands for. So fungibility means that you can change something, basically, right? Just to make for your readers, everyone can have the Mona Lisa. Everyone can have it printed out. There's one original, right? So everything else, it's pretty much fungible. You can change it about, but you can never change the original picture. If you change the original picture now, let's say on Mona Lisa you put a third eye, the value is gonna drop, right?
Yeah.
It's just so that's what it means, that you have ownership of something which is you cannot really change it. Yeah.
And that it also then you can apply it to a real estate fund, for example, right? So people are now starting funds as NFTs, and then you can invest in that NFT or fund and then become part of what they're doing, and then you're investing in real estate. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, something similar. I mean, it's so open, this space, what's happening within real estate. So what you're talking about is more about companies creating funds in real estate, and basically where are these funds invested? They're invested in real estate in what we call the Metaverse.
Metaverse,
So
yeah.
I don't want to talk too much and jump onto it because this is quite deep. But we know that Facebook, they changed their name to Meta, right? So basically, think about a world where you can both interact with the real world, but also in the virtual world, and it kind of merges together. An example of this is exactly what we're doing right now, right? We're having a conversation, we're almost as like sitting in the same room, but we're physically not in the same room, right? But we can have still that same kind of level of conversation. Physical is not a barrier. So this is a metaverse, right? So these metaverses, within these spaces, it's almost like a population, there are things growing there, there are casinos growing there are buildings growing there are smaller cities growing there, right? And because this is growing and it has some kind of value, people are now starting to buy property within these spaces, right? Interesting thing. So what I want to say before we go further is that what's the problem now? Again, super early, but there's way too many different worlds. There's not one metaverse. There's not one world where everyone can chill. There's only different ones at the moment. But in one of these metaverses, it's very interesting because there's companies like Adidas and all of the different companies who are, who need advertised space because there's so many people there. There's so many people who are there, whether that's gamers, whatever, where there are people, there's value to sell something. Now, if you want to sell something, have it on a poster on a building, well, that's going to increase the value of a building, right? So now people are starting to buy buildings within the metaverse. I don't have experience with it. I've heard via a guy who's actually doing that only. It's very high risk stuff, but it's very simple, like in real estate. If you're on a location and there's people around that location, you have value, right? Like, real estate, location. It's the same thing in Metaverse, but how much value does it bring? That's the big question. Now, these funds that you're talking about, I think it's doing something like this. I'm not sure because I don't have complete insight, but that is super interesting. You have like big celebrities now. You have like Snoop Dogg, who bought a property in a Metaverse called Axie Infinity. It's a Metaverse, and it's like there's lots of brands there already. There's people who are interacting there and stuff. So basically, it's a world which is a cross between digital and reality, and which is having a value, and therefore it's having a value. And we know in real estate, it's all about location.
Yeah, a lot of artists.
It becomes like Sims then, right? Sims that you played, the kind of that idea then in the end, right?
A bit. I mean, I really, if you guys ever, I don't know if you have experienced it. I experienced it recently with VR and all of this thing. It's super interesting, but it's so early stage. But there's huge potential. Hence, Facebook changing just their even name to Meta.
There's a reason.
There's a reason things happen. And such a long thing.
Yes, and so many people also like playing video games, and that is a potential market for maybe Metaverse, right? In a virtual world, because that's going next level, right? It's not just one particular game with one particular setup of things. It's just an open space, like a little bit like GTA, but like completely the next level where you have your life,
No, for sure. And I think this is a big driver. So gaming within crypto is like a big driver. It's because there's the market itself for gaming and things like that. Kids. Because I don't know if I promote Metaverse, because it basically means that you are moving your body less and you're being more in front of the computer, right? Yeah. But that's basically what is going towards. It's already happening, right? With internet, right?
With Metaverse, is that was one of the use case was also like architecture, right? For real estate, for example, creating. Was it like for architects a way for virtually creating a building and see if it's resistant or something, because you can apply the same physical forces and stuff like that, and see if your wall is standing, if that building can be like that, like this whole thing with for architects actually.
Can be. I don't have insight on that. But potentially can be. It's being used in so many ways. Even in real estate. Just to have a little point here. Even we talked about Ethereum and smart contracts, right? You can even apply smart contracts in real estate deals.
Yeah. So that was then a little bit the NFTs. The funds are going towards that. So for sure the Metaverse, and also because these stakes or shares in NFT are very more flexible to be trading, to get in, to get out, instead of normal funds that normally you're in there and then your stake you need to sell it to somebody else, and it's quite difficult to then sell another or find another buyer, and that's then also one of the things. Guys, we're getting to the end. Good talks about a lot of cryptocurrency, a lot of insights.
Nice.
I'm sure that people will learn a lot from this. This has been the second series of the 2-part series. The first time was a crash course, now was a deep dive in the cryptocurrency, how you can use it, how you can analyze it, where. If at any point you're listening to this and you have more questions, especially then for you this time, Adnan, feel free to reach out. I will put your Instagram page in the notes, and that is all good. Guys, thanks again for your knowledge, for your energy. We are signing off. Okay, guys? See you soon again.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Ciao.
Thank you.